People used to treat me like I was nothing, a mere shadow in a society designed to overlook my existence. On that fateful day, as I boarded the plane to pitch my vision for underserved schools, I believed I'd finally transcend the barriers that sought to hold me back. But then came the shocking announcement. The pilot would not allow me to fly. Confusion ricocheted through the cabin, people casting uneasy glances my way, their discomfort palpable. Was my race the reason I was being singled out, judged for a supposed threat? My heart sank. This was supposed to be a milestone moment, yet I felt the sharp sting of humiliation cutting through me. But soon enough, doubt morphed into dread as I experienced the onset of symptoms bewitched by a heart condition I had kept hidden. Bugatti syndrome. My body trembled, sweat dripped down my brow, and the flight attendant's alarmed face unveiled a brewing crisis. Reality set in as Dr. Sarah Chen, a brave physician on board, responded with urgency, her calm demeanor contrasting sharply with my rising panic. My health was deteriorating, and in that moment, I feared not only for my life, but for the dreams I represented. Miraculously, a sealed prescription pill emerged, but legality loomed over its use. Tentative hopes surfaced as I awaited consent from my doctor, Dr. Alan Bernstein. Would I be saved? As I took the medication, a wave of relief washed over me. The plane landed just in time, and what emerged on the other side was not just my recovery, but an unexpected victory. My keynote speech went on as planned, and support poured in beyond my wildest expectations. In retrospect, I recognized the bonds formed in crisis. It was no longer about skin color, but a shared humanity that transcended personal biases. My experience forced me to confront assumptions not just from others, but within myself. Although I had faced betrayal, I emerged transformed, committed to fostering understanding in a world that desperately needed it. Compassion can, after all, emerge from the most unexpected circumstances. Listen up. We can't have this man on the plane. The pilot's voice echoed with jagged edges, slicing through the tension like a knife. Eyes turned towards the black CEO, confusion morphing into dismay, but the pilot's glare was fixed, laden with authority. "Excuse me?" The CEO's voice shook, heart racing. The murmurs around him escalated into a low buzz of disbelief. "What do you mean I can't fly?" "A passenger removal," the pilot replied, folding his arms defiantly. A flight attendant stepped forward, fear flickering in her eyes. "Sir, let's talk about this. Maybe there's a misunderstanding." The pilot cut her off, clearly dismissive. "I don't want to put anyone at risk. This man doesn't look well." Take as silence gripped the cabin. The CEO felt the weight of 1,000 eyes upon him. The sting of prejudice ignited a familiar rage within him. "My health is fine. This is about my race, isn't it?" His voice trembled with the heat of anger and betrayal. The discomfort in his chest, a consequence of Bugatti syndrome, ignited a deeper fear. It wasn't just the humiliation, but doom looming closer with each pounding heartbeat. The flight attendant's face paled. He just finished a significant meeting about funding for schools. He's vital to our community. Ud firm, his authority amplifying an invisible barrier between them. The CEO cast a desperate glance at the passengers. Some averted their eyes. Others murmured in discontent. "I'm just trying to protect everyone," the pilot insisted, shrugging as if that could shield him from scrutiny. Suddenly, tremors gripped the CEO's hands. He gasped, feeling the walls close in. I can't breathe," he rasped. Dr. Sarah Chen, a passenger, surged forward, her calm resolve a sharp contrast to the chaos. "Get him help, now!" "Too late," the pilot scoffed. But the life-or-death stakes shifted as the crew sprang into action, realizing the severity of the situation with rapid precision, even brushing past the pilot's rigid stance. As the cabin filled with urgency, the CEO felt humanity's warmth seep through the lingering chill of betrayal. A fragile connection forged yet again amidst the storm. The flight was still, the air thick with anticipation as the passengers settled into their seats. Among them sat the black CEO, his mind racing with thoughts of funding for underserved schools. $20 million felt like a lifeline. Just as the jet began its taxi, the pilot's voice crackled through the intercom, halting all conversation. "I need to remove a passenger," gasps echoed, and the gaze of the cabin fixed on him. The words hung palpable in the air, the weight of judgment heavy. There was confusion, whispered exchanges, and an insidious tension that made him feel like an outsider in a place meant to be shared. He thought of his past encounters with racism, the subtle slights that shaped his skin, now suddenly exposed again. Frustration simmered beneath the surface, a silent storm slowly gathering. The pilot's decision was purportedly to address a potential health risk, but truth be told, he was battling Bugatta syndrome, a heart condition that had cast shadows on his life. As he felt tremors run through him, cold sweat glistened on his brow, and reality began to blur. Then came the urgency. Dr. Sarah Chen, in control and poised, assessed his condition, insisting on a diversion. Panic washed over him. The cabin filled with a hushed urgency as a flight attendant rushed in with a pill bottle, only for the legality of its use to cast a delicate net of doubt. A lifeline, but would it be fleet enough? His heart raced, not just with physical distress, but with the realization that this moment felt like a culmination of every slight he'd absorbed, a boiling point. As the crew scrambled for consent, he took a deep breath, the air thick with anticipation. The seconds stretched, but as the pill made its way to him, he sensed a change. The intensity sharpened, a new resolve blossoming within. He wouldn't allow this to define him. The tension in the cabin was palpable as the pilot's voice crackled over the intercom. "I'm sorry, but we need to remove one passenger." Everyone turned, eyes darting nervously to the black CEO seated in row 4. The gut punch of judgment was unmistakable. He clenched his jaw, a wave of humiliation washing over him, memories of discrimination bubbling to the surface. But then, just as confusion turned to frustration, clarity struck. His mission, securing funding for underserved schools, flashed before him. His work mattered more than this moment. "Excuse me," he said, his voice steady despite the chaos. "Before any decisions are made, let's clarify the situation." With self-composure, he approached a flight attendant, catching her attention. "I understand your concerns, however, I'd appreciate an open conversation." His heart raced, not from fear, but from a newfound resolve. Amidst the rising panic as symptoms of his condition kicked in, he found himself surrendering to the power of his voice. "Dr. Chen, can you assist me?" The doctor nodded firmly, sensing his desperation. The exchange was brief but charged with energy, a flicker of hope igniting within him. As the crew rushed to secure medication, he focused on breathing, feeling the tension shift. When the emergency medication arrived, he whispered a quiet, grateful, "Thank you." Each moment felt monumental, each heartbeat of resilience marking a return to self. He returned to his seat, a faint smile on his lips, drawing strength from small victories, not just over his health, but also against the barriers of bias he had faced. His journey was far from over, but this day marked a turning point, a reminder that reclaiming control meant inviting connection, even in the face of fear. The cabin is a cauldron of tension. Whispers ripple through the aisles as the pilot's voice booms over the intercom. "We need to remove a passenger, Mr. Dawson." The room falls silent. Eyes shift. Is it the look of fear, or is it something else, judgment? A tightness grips the narrator's chest, memories of past encounters with bias flooding back. He grips the armrests, confusion swirling into a storm of indignation. But then the flight attendant, Jess, races down the aisle, urgency reflected in her eyes. At that moment, the soft murmur of passengers morphs into a chorus of concerned voices. "Is he okay? What's happening?" Realization dawns. This isn't a side of prejudice. No, the pilot's concern is genuine, spurred by the anxiety of his rapid heartbeat, the chronic weight of his Bugatta syndrome. Just as quickly, dread washes over him. What if his condition escalates now, overshadowing everything he has fought for? As tremors seize him, Dr. Sarah Chen emerges from her seat, her demeanor calm and commanding. The tension is palpable as she kneels by his side, her focused gaze scanning for signs of distress. Suddenly, the cabin feels less like a battleground and more like a community, watchful and ready. "Please, we have to divert," Dr. Chen insists. The urgency prickles against the backdrop of murmurs. The flight attendant rushes to retrieve a sealed prescription pill. The air thickens with anticipation. A voice crackles through the intercom. It's Dr. Alan Bernstein, and his consent comes like a lifeline. "Use it, it's needed." Disqualified.
The pill rests heavy in the narrator's palm. He swallows hard, feeling a swift relief wash over him as the medication takes effect. The heartbeat of the cabin changes tempo. They land safely, responsive medical teams on standby. Still shaking but recovering, he delivers his keynote speech to a packed room hours later, now armed with more funding than he ever imagined. Change for those who need it most. As he speaks, he catches a glimpse of the pilot, who stands quietly in the back, the weight of embarrassment palpable. The silent triumph blooms within him. No need for vengeance, just a profound sense of justice. The audience leans in, nodding with understanding. Finally, he sees the journey unfold. Prejudice, once a barrier, now softened into connection. In this moment, all were reminded. Amidst misjudgments, humanity prevails, and sometimes compassion reveals itself in the most unexpected ways.
As the plane touched down, I felt the weight of the past few hours slowly lift. I had been thrust into a whirlwind of emotions, confusion, fear, and a deep-seated hurt that echoed my experiences with Prejudice. The pilot's abrupt decision had felt personal, yet in that chaotic moment, I discovered it stemmed from a place of concern for my health, not hatred. With my heart racing from both the adrenaline and the Bugatti syndrome, I realized that in seconds, my life had been in the balance. Thanks to Dr. Chen and my own resilience, I was still here, able to share my voice. My keynote speech went off, opening the door to more funding than I'd ever anticipated for those underserved schools I had fought so hard for. Reflecting now, I see the delicate dance between judgment and the connections we make, sometimes born among the ashes of misunderstanding. It invites a question I can't shake. Do you think I went too far in my initial reactions? Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you were quick to judge or misunderstood? Share your thoughts and experiences below. Let's explore the complexities of justice and compassion together.